everyone. It's good to be here. Gary, thanks a million for asking me. You must have been badly stuck. But it's great to be here. What about it being a packed room? Lethal. He's glad to be back in action. Definitely. You know what? There's something about a live audience. You know, if I have to sit through another Zoom, I'm gonna get this through the screen. You know, no, I'll not do that. I'll reserve myself. But honestly, it's great to be back, speaking to people face to face and getting a good buzz a Friday night. And for the first time in a long time, it felt a wee bit normal tonight. You know, I don't know if you felt that, but you know, what is normal in fairness, you know. But my name is Annette. You know, it's Friday night. No, it's not school night, sorry. So that is definitely Instagram versus reality. You know, I know who that is. When I came up on the screen, I was like, who's your blade? And I thought, that's me. That was me. That's definitely not today nor yesterday. But me and my sister are the co-creators of Little Penny Thoughts. I thought if I'm going down, she's going down with me. So in 2015, I had an idea to create a positivity page. This is my idea. I'm going to be a positive page on Insta or Facebook. It's too negative. Let's be positive, and you know, I would put up, you know, sunshine and rainbows and things like that. Very naive. Probably back in the day, a wee bit of toxic positivity. You know, like, you know, don't worry, be happy. You know, if you tell someone don't worry, what are they going to do? Worry. If you tell someone don't think of a pink elephant, what are they going to do? These are all thinking pink elephants, aren't you? You know, it's about our language. You know, our language, and this is what I've journeyed through this past few years in terms of quotes. I'm a big fan of quotes. The quotes come out of my ears, but they're quotes that, you know, mean a lot to me and promote resilience and strength, courage and motivation daily. And motivation can only really come from within. I'm not a motivational speaker because I just have to try and motivate myself. I can't really motivate anyone in this room. But if I give you, maybe if you take away something from my talk tonight, brilliant. If you don't be telling anyone, right? But it's all about, you know, motivation from within. And that is where Little Penny Thoughts, the concept came from my sister's purse. This is why I took her with me. It said, she said, what are you going to call this positive page? You know, and this is why you have to have good people around you. Even though they might think you're bananas, but at least they go along with you. So Orla would have pretended that this was a good idea. We'd hear what Annette's at now. And it was 2015. It wasn't really mainstream that people would have talked about their feelings or, you know, shared maybe their emotions online. But I was all for that, you know. I come from a wee rural village, it's a bit like Emmerdale. You know what I mean? And you can't fart without someone knowing. But the thing is, for me, I thought I didn't care until Little Penny Thoughts grew, right? So Orla said, what are you going to call it? Penny for Your Thoughts came from her purse. I couldn't steal a penny for your thoughts, so I had to put Penny Thoughts. And Orla said, here, throw the word little into it. And then I said, sounds good. And then she created a logo, and that's our logo still to this day. We incorporated the moon maybe 2 years ago, because I'm a bit of a moon cat, but anyway, we'll not go into it. But basically, it started gaining following, right? And back in the day, you know, I was still teaching. I'm a primary school teacher, believe it or not. And this page was growing, but I was kind of undercover. You know, no one knew it was me. And people were saying, who's this Penny Thoughts? I was like, don't know. You know, because I was a wee bit, even though I was proud of it, I was still paranoid and a wee bit worried about what other people would think. You know, once again, from a small area, it doesn't matter whether you're a small area or wherever you're from, you can sometimes fear the judgment of other people. And when it comes to resilience, that's something that I've learnt over the years, and I've learnt hard and I've learnt very fast, that what other people think of me is none of my business, you know? And it's someone told that to me, and I was like, oh God, I don't really care what other people think, but deep down I did, because I wasn't owning what I was doing, or I wasn't even outwardly proud. And you know, when it comes to resilience, you have to think of it like a bit of like a journey, right? I thought I was resilient until, I would say, 2015, when things were taken off the Little Penny Thoughts, and then, you know, I blew my cover, you know, and I'm still teaching. But all of a sudden, I thought that I had to have my life together. I thought I had to be a person that I wasn't. I thought I had to have the man. Still don't have him, thankfully. Sorry, it's not a Sunday, it's alright. You know, I thought I had to have the man, the relationship, the car, the house, this, that and the other. I thought I had to have my you-know-what together. And when I graduated from university, everyone was talking about getting a job. I was talking about getting on the big bird, the plane to Australia, getting me out of here. And not that I was running from anything, I wasn't running. But what I was doing was discovering who I was, only in my early 20s. But all of a sudden in my mid-20s, I thought I had to have it together. Oh my God, if I could look back now and knock her out and be like, Annette, you're in your prime. But at the time I was comparing myself. And comparison is a thief of joy. The minute you start comparing your journey to someone else's, as my mother says, you're baked. That means you're beat. It's over. And the thing is, I would have done that a lot. And still catch myself doing that, whether it's strangers online. I'm not going to be 6 foot. I'm not going to be a Victoria's Secret model. Can you believe that? But do you know what? I accept that. I'm 5 foot nothing. Wear heels and rock on. It's about being resilient and appreciating what you have rather than what you don't. Now, I'm not going to come up here and tell you that I've had a hard life. I have not. However, I have struggled. And there'll be very few people in this room that have not struggled. And as an advocate for mental health, Little Penny Thoughts isn't all rainbows and butterflies. Some people on nights out come up to me and be like, "Positive Penny, what's your hope for the day?" And I might say a few choice words, it's not Penny and I don't feel too positive. But the Little Penny Thoughts didn't come from rainbows and butterflies. It actually came from sheer anxiety and depression, locking myself in my room, posting from my bedroom, getting thousands of likes but feeling so lonely, so scared, and feeling so unworthy. So my definition of resilience is being at your lowest, right? And thinking that you don't have a purpose, that you don't have a place in this world, and fighting back from that. So it's a setback. So when anxiety and depression came knocking on my door in 2015, I was 25, 26 at the stage, and surely not Annette Kelly, bubbly, life and soul of the party. Well, I'm here to say nobody's exempt. Nobody's exempt of struggle. Whether you're a doctor, whether you're unemployed, whether you're a bin man, whether you're a solicitor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a child, whether you're male, female, and every single person in this room, whether you've been through it yourself or know someone that has experienced, the pain and the suffering of their mental health, will know the struggle, but they'll know the bounce back ability. And I'm proud to say that I bounced back. Yeah. But I didn't bounce back on my own. I bounced back with the right people around me. I bounced back with the support of, my parents, my family, the likes of I went to CBT, cognitive behaviour therapy is just absolutely incredible. It worked for me, and I'm not saying it would work for everyone. But just because I bounced back doesn't mean that that's me now sorted. Because sometimes you can go low again, but guess what? You can go high again and bounce back again, because this is life. And you know what? My daddy, God love him, that creator, he doesn't, you say your daddy doesn't know what you're at. Daddy's like, you're not teaching anymore. I'm like, no. What do I call you now? What do I say to people when they ask you what they're doing? I say, I'm just telling them, bluffing. And he tries to explain to Granny what I'll be doing. And she's so confused. Granny's 95 and she's my absolute hero. She's like, you're always running them roads, would you lie down? But she said to me recently, but what's this about all this followers? She read it in the paper, it's followers. And I was telling them, it's not like physical people following me, it's just online. And she says, well, Jesus had 12, Hitler had millions. Not far wrong, and I don't really buy into the following, and what Linda says about likes and stuff like that, it doesn't define you, but from a personal perspective, I kind of lost my identity a wee bit too, little penny thoughts. And that's not a sob story or something, but I actually must have been called Annette. People were emailing me saying, hey Annette, or saying, hey Penny. I was like, no, I need to reclaim this. But I feel as if the more I've come into my own, even on social media and in person, and owning it, and taking ownership of my life, and having that wee bit of confidence within myself. And this all came from a setback, which was my mental health, but I don't see, my mental health now as a burden. Believe it or not, I see it as a blessing, because my experience has moulded me into the person that I am, and also I'm more compassionate now, because I understand. I've walked that road, and I know I could walk it again. I walked it quite recently, but I bounced back, and I'm living proof of it. There have been times, which I've never really admitted in public, that I didn't want to really be here, and I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. Because see, today, I want to be here so much. And we all want to be here, but sometimes we feel as if we don't belong, that life's tough, that, sometimes we don't have the coping skills, and that's where resilience is so important. So now, the big question, how do we build resilience? Well, how I build resilience will be very different to how you build resilience. For me, it's all about giving myself a break, cutting myself a wee bit of slack, right? Not running myself down at every opportunity and listening to that inner critic. Does anyone have a wee inner critic? Yeah. Well, I've named her, and if you've been to my talks or my courses before, you'll know her name, and I apologise if this is your name, your granny's name, your dog's name, but her name's Geraldine, right? And Geraldine, right? She doesn't pay any rent up here, in this precious space I own. She leaves a wild mess, she adds no value, she's basically like a squatter, right? And I have to tell her to get to France, Even coming up the road here today, Geraldine was like, you're going to make a donkey yourself. I said, oh, you know what, Geraldine? Get on that. Not today, Geraldine, not today. Now, you might think you're actually not wise. Well, you're right. But the best people aren't, you know what I mean? And I would say I am more authentically myself now than ever, and I don't fear the judgment, okay? Because 9 times out of 10 people aren't judging you. They're thinking what they're going to eat. Wasn't that lovely? Did you just get fish or chicken? I didn't know what I was eating there, but it was good food for a good times food. So basically, a long story short, is that I'm 32, saying nothing. I can't believe it. When I was starting doing talks before the pandemic, I was like, I'm 30. And now it's 2 years on, I'm 32. And you know what? I've learned so much about myself in recent years, because I've started doing the work. Right, and the work isn't always easy. The work's a journey, and when you start, the best project you'll ever work on is yourself, right? The most important relationship you have with anyone is yourself, because you're with you every step of the way. The minute you wake up in the morning, who's first there? Yourself. The minute you go to bed, you're with yourself and your thoughts. So let's think about the quality of your thoughts. What are you telling yourself on a daily basis? Are you telling yourself you can't cope? Because if you're telling yourself you can't cope, you won't cope. But if you tell yourself, you know what, this might be a challenge, but I'm fit for this, I can do this. It's how you talk to yourself, and self-talk is so important. And that's how I keep the inner critic at bay, and that's how I am more resilient. Even I had a catch, challenge, change the likes of my inner critic there going up the road. Instead of saying that I was going to act the donkey, I'm going to be a wee white horse. Do you know what I mean? It's just challenging those words that we say to ourselves, because believe you me, sometimes we're our own worst enemy, and we can be our own worst critic. So a wee task for this week is to cut yourself a wee bit of slack, and be kind to your mind first and foremost, and then you can be kind to others. But give to yourself before you give to others. Fill up your own cup. And I don't mean to sound like a cheesehead. Here, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I'm not only talking the talk, but I'm walking the walk, because I know what it's like, to feel, worthless. And I actually can't believe I'm saying that, because I feel far from worthless at the minute. I feel good. Now, when we talk about loving ourselves, I'm not there yet, but I like myself, I think I'm dead on. That's good enough for me. You know what I mean? And if you get there, you know, keep tipping. But the thing, you know, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you react to it, right? So there's going to be lots of stuff that will happen to you in your life. And you know what, it's not up to other people to say, oh, you don't have it bad, or what do you have to worry about. Sometimes when we're faced with challenges, it can be hard to cope. But the thing is, we have this power within ourselves to cope. You're stronger than you think you are. And that is so true. And you have to, it's having that self-belief, and that just doesn't happen overnight. It's a skill that can be strengthened, and it's a skill that can be taught. Self-talk is massive for your self-esteem and your self-worth. So I want everyone tonight to check your thoughts. Check your thoughts. How are you speaking to yourself? And as once again, as cheesy as this may sound, are you being your own wee best friend? There's no point trying to make life harder than it needs to be. And I'm just going to end with this sweet quote that I read earlier when I was doing a wee bit of research on resilience, because that's the theme of tonight, and hopefully I have spoke a wee bit about my own personal journey with resilience. But success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's the courage to continue that counts. Okay, so success is not final, so when you think you've reached the pinnacle on the top, that isn't your end destination. But also failure isn't fatal. Failure doesn't mean you're finished. It's a courage to continue that counts. To keep going, one foot in front of the other, no matter how hard it is. People may look at me and think, oh, she's full of beans, full of confidence, and usually I am, but that's not always the story behind my smile. But I am dedicated to be a passionate mental health advocate for the island of Ireland, and I want to tell everyone that it's okay not to feel alright for no reason. Alright, you don't always need a reason or a trauma. Sometimes it can just happen. But I also want to send a message that things can and will get better. And that's strength. And see, having that wee flicker of hope within yourself to say, do you know what? Life isn't hard at the minute, but I know it has the potential to get better. That can sometimes see you through. Thank you so much for listening to me this evening. You have been so lovely. Resilience. We become more resilient through experience, through being tested, and through setbacks. And these experiences aren't pleasant, but they make you into the person that you're meant to be. And thank you so much for listening, everyone. These are a class audience, and there's a great day.